Good evening everyone and welcome to another Twisted stream. Today I will be streaming the first day of the Twisted Professionals for the EU server for you, and I'll be following R2K as they take on Navin and as they take on Loka today. This is not a stream where you can get stuff. Basically Wargaming decided that only one stream per day per server gives stuff. And the streamer that gets it is basically rotating. So for today, for EU, that is Rolling Swarm. Be sure to watch it through the portal and be logged in on the portal, because otherwise you won't get anything. And my advice, of course, Brian is a fantastic streamer, so definitely watch him. But if there is a streamer that has the great stream that you are not a fan of, put on the portal, have it in the background, mute it, and then just watch a stream that you want. Because like I said, there will be streamers that are rotating, and that includes Rip. And Rip, of course, is also a fantastic streamer, but he streams in German. So unless you know German, it will be very difficult to follow what he's saying. So that's just to give an example as to why I mentioned the mute thingy. Because I basically just want everyone to have fun and to watch what they want to watch while still getting free stuff for Wargaming, because you can't really complain about free stuff. Free stuff is good. Free stuff is fun. So that is what we want to do. So I'll take away the preview now. This is the current teams that we have in the Twisted Professionals for the EU server. We have RJK, Karna, EG, FBI, Win, Loka, Navin and Raid. And like I said, today we will be following R2K. Basically, they start with the last matches first. But today we have R2K versus Navin, which has basically been the dark horse. And R2K versus Loka, which has been very strong this season. So I'm very eager to see them. The games will be best of 7. And that means that there will be, well, basically a lot of games, hopefully. As a streamer, I always hope for tiebreakers. I know that the players generally don't. But for me, the more games there are, the more fun it is. And I like that it's best of 7, because that means that there is less left to luck and more left to skill and cunning and tactics and all of that. So basically, we just have to wait a little bit before the room invite is up. I'll be taking you back now to the garage so that we can wait for the room invite to come. I always start a little bit extra early, and that has everything to do with the fact that I want to have YouTube fired up before I actually start to commentate on the gameplay itself. And because there's a 5-minute delay on the stream, that actually means that I need to start 5 minutes extra early, so that when the room invite is up, the stream will actually be live, and it just makes it a lot easier for me, basically. So that is what I will be doing in well, about 20 seconds actually, then YouTube should be catching on. Like I said, this is not a get free stuff stream today. Tomorrow it will be me that gives stuff for Asia and for you, and Brian that gets stuff for that gives stuff for NA, and for me it will be tonight for NA. So should be fun. I like that it's being rotated, because that just makes it a lot more fair. It would be even better if just all streams give stuff, but I think that Wargaming doesn't want to, because partly it is because of the fact that there are a lot of streamers per server, but they differ. There's 3 for Asia, 4 for EU, and 2 for NA. So that makes it a little bit unfair, because in previous seasons you just had people that were watching all 4 streams and just watching the actual one that they wanted to watch. With the rest muted, but you got 4 times the stuff then. So I think that Wargaming is trying to avoid that happening right now. In the meantime, we are now live on YouTube, so that's a good thing. Now I just need to pause the stream when it starts, and then we can just focus on the actual game. Thing is that I do keep an eye on the YouTube chat, but because there's a 5-minute delay, it actually makes it a little bit hard to keep track, because by the time I react, you're 5 minutes further. So it can be quite useless to do that. So it kind of depends on what's being said and all of that. Come on, YouTube, go live. YouTube is having a little bit of issue with the stream, but it should be going. There you go. Once that is going, I'm happy. And then I can just focus on the game. So the room invite should be up momentarily. There we go. Talk with the devil and step on the still. So, like I said, we have R2K versus Navin. We're going to start on Rockfield. Let me pull that map up for you. It looks something like this. You have 3 bases. And you have base A, which is considered the heavy base. Base B in the middle. And base C, that is considered the mat base. There's lots of lines of fire into all the bases here. But A has a bunker right with it, which means that you can camp in relative safety if you have a low profile tank or a small tank. And with C there's a nice little ridge where you can decap a lot of places from, but the downside of that is that you have to overexpose yourself a lot, and that is something that generally doesn't really work for a lot of people, and they get slaughtered for it. So with that in mind, anything can happen. These are teams that are playing each other, not just random people, and that means that they can go anywhere with any lineup. Even though I would expect them to go A, they could go C instead, and the other way around. But overall, people tend to try and dominate at least half the map, so they won't necessarily focus on just one side. We generally see spotting happening between B and C somewhere, and then just either have you focus on either the C side or the A side, but you just basically want to be aware of where your enemy is. So that is the map that we are going through. We are 3.5 minutes out, so we will have plenty of time for the teams to ready up, though R2K is already completely ready up. So I'm going to take away the preview of the map so that you know where we are going right now, but that it's not going to block your screen when we actually enter the battle. And we see that R2K has readied up in a 3 215Bs, 2 140s, a T22 medium and an IS-4. And I think that the tricky part here is that the fact that it's just... there are so many games happening on similar maps, and you don't want to show your best tactics at the same time. You don't want to lose, so you have to use tactics, and you might have to show the back of your tongue as the... I'm not actually sure if that's an English thing, but it is a Dutch one, basically, that you show all your cards. So it will be interesting to see what happens during these professionals rounds, because the pressure isn't necessarily on just yet, but you all have enemies in your head where you're like, okay, we have more of a chance against them than we do against others, so that could be a tricky thing. Navi in the meantime fully present but not yet fully readied up, and we just have to wait 2 minutes before we go into the game. There is plenty of time left. In the meantime, like I said, do have the portal streaming on another device, on another screen or whatever, just to get free stuff, because it definitely helps. Less than 2 minutes left to go. Weiser has unreadied himself but readied up again. It's quite a new meta-ish lineup that R2K is using, especially with the lots of 215Bs. But yeah, they are amazing tanks, and they can be very troll, and they can help very, very well. And Navin on the other side is still undecided, but they're slowly readying up. They still have 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, so that's plenty of time still. But we see their new meta tanks as well, with 2 T22s, a Foch, a 215B, 2 215Bs, a Batchet, and an IS-4. So these are pretty much new meta lines against each other, but R2K does not have a big gun with them. Foch is very troll and has proven its worth definitely, but there are weaknesses to having a TD, because A, no turret, and B, long reload after it finishes the clip. But if it can get both shots in, then oof, it can do so much. So with that in mind, we are 40 seconds from going into the match and into the first battle of this best of 7. First team to get to 4 victories is basically going to take home the point. At the end, it will be the top 4 with the points, point-wise ties, that are going through to the final stages of the Twister Online Cup. And after that, it will be the winner of that goes to the offline, together with possibly the winner of the wildcard tournament, because they will duke it out. Although actually it is the winner of the wildcard tournament, but I mean the second place EU versus the winner of the Challengers tournament take on each other, and they then take on RU. And the winner of that wildcard tournament will actually get to go to the offline as well. Lots of different avatars. YOLO not even using any. And here we go for the first match of this best of 7. Lovely camo this. I quite like the graphite camo. It looks cool. But I do like Zert's camo more. I want that on tanks. So let's see what they do and where they go. We have Navin. Bit spread out, but mainly focusing on the seaside, whereas RTK seems to be primarily focusing on the... Ooh, there's a batch that already been spotted. The 140s have been spotted. And RTK is going for a quick and cheeky base B cap. And that could be a good call, because if you get that advantage, this base will be very difficult to decap, to steal once they have it. Wiser and No Party Without Me blocking each other a little bit. Tiny shots happening, but not all that much. In the meantime, base C is being capped by Navin. Base A now being capped by R2K. Inside getting a shot fired at him, but it doesn't do damage. And the 140s are content in holding, whereas Wise is moving back towards their spawn. Base A has been decapped. There's tiny bits of damage happening, but the one Mo just took a much bigger hit. And he has to be careful where he is. Stopey stopping the cap. Possibly going to the other side to try it there. There's still blind shots happening. But he is spotted when he goes there, and that's not something that you want either. So we now have Wunderkind possibly going for it, but not sure. But RTK still has the point advantage of about 1 tank's worth. So it could definitely be worth it. Stopey being spotted by the T-22, I think, by Insight. And now we have blind shots going into where Wunderkind is, but he's going to be able to cap this because he's hidden by the bunker very nicely in a way that worked better than with Stopey. And after he's capped, he can just pull back. So we have Wise keeping an eye out for any potential threat coming through from their spawn. Basically, both teams are nicely spread out. And I think it's mainly the T-22 that is causing them a lot of trouble. But Navin has their team set up in a way that they can easily fall back on each other. We see the batchat moving a little bit. Some fire happening, but no real damage being done. But RTK has the base advantage, they have the point advantage, and it's only getting bigger. And now we see that Navin is pushing in with the T-22 and the 215Bs. And they basically want to take out those 140s. And ooh, we see Zert losing a lot of HP, trying to help his teammate, but he might have not done well doing that. Basically sacrificing himself. There he goes. Wunderkind and the 140s are in trouble now. Gassio losing a lot of HP. YOLO arriving. Basically, this is not looking good for R2K with the way that HP keeps vanishing. There goes Gassio. Base B is being stolen. No Party Without Me is almost gone already. And there is little to no focus fire. We are at 810 points for R2K. But low HP targets are... There he goes. There goes Insight. 2 tanks gone from Navin. 3 from R2K. And they really need to focus fire. The T-22 needs to go. And there he goes. And now base A is being capped as well. R2K lost their base advantage. They lost their... Well, they didn't lose their HP advantage yet. But there are a lot of low HP tanks. And it looks like there he goes. And there are 2 tanks left. We are 980 points if these guys survive. If they take out 1 more tank. Or if they cap the base. There goes the 1 Mo. And they could have this. But Wunderkind is in trouble. Virus is... Ooh, there he goes. And now we have... There we go, 940 points. It is a very close. Now it's just a batchat. How do you bounce on the back of a batchat? But he is doing his best. He is getting very much murdered for it. And 1 more reload from the 140 will do it because he can't get out of this in time. Oh, and they actually... Oh, they did it! Narvin took it home. Narvin got to 1k points. If Stopey had stayed in base B, RTK would have had the victory. But what a game from Narvin. Very nicely played. And I think it's Zerd going down that actually turned the game. Because he was basically a lamb being brought to the slaughter. What a game that was. In the meantime, I'm seeing people asking in the chat about the containers. To get containers, watch through the portal at YouTube won't give you anything. So with just over a minute left to go, we see Stopey now, Stopey being changed out for Kasu. And basically we have a complete lineup on both sides now, with Zerd in the 215B, Gassio IS7, No Party Without Me T22, Mo in the 215B as well, Wise in the 140, and Wunderkind and Kasu both in the Foshes. And we have Navin completely redded up in 2 T22s, 2 215Bs, an STB, an IS7 and a Fosh. So that's also a very different lineup. And that makes it very funny actually, because I'm very curious what they do with this lineup. I like that the lineups have changed quite a bit between the first and the second game, because it means that we're going to be seeing some other stuff. And that's one of the reasons that I like tournament play like this, because it's so unpredictable. It's also why I like Supremacy being used as a game mode for tournaments rather than Encounter. Because I don't want the predictability, because, you know, in Encounter, people go to the same spots, doing the same things in the same tanks, and then it's just really who better focuses fire and all of that. And of course that is very important, but with the tournament gameplay, like you just saw, what happens with the bases is so important. So yeah, let's see what happens this time around with this gorgeous camo. I like that camo. It was a fun thing once that RTK won, either in spring, not this spring obviously, but last year, or in Twister, I'm not entirely certain. Now we see RTK focusing entirely on the seaside, and we see pretty much Navin doing the same thing. So this could go into a brawl very, very quickly. First shots being fired, Wunderkind already taking some damage. If not much. Zerd taking some damage in the 215B as well. And we are in an early, I wouldn't say stalemate, but ooh, Zerd taking more damage there. The base now being capped. Ooh, big hit into Virus there. And Zerd is basically the odd one out. Zerd is going to die very quickly for this. The one Mo losing too much HP as well. I'm not sure what's going on here. We have a lot of action, that is for sure, but I'm not sure what's actually happening. Zerd taking another shot, but he's not going to survive the next reload. He is being focused, and there he goes. And it didn't cost Navin nearly enough HP to take Zerd out. Overall, there's way too many healthy tanks still. Wunderkind losing quite a bit of HP. But they need to take out the guns. And they need to take out... There goes Wunderkind, there goes Kasu. RTK has lost 3 tanks for the 1 tank that Navin lost. Gassio being steadily destroyed. And there he goes. Overall, HP-wise, Navin has the advantage. They definitely have the gun advantage. It is 5 versus 3 now. One Mo not looking too good health-wise. And they need to take out these one-shots. But they leave Wise unattended, and that means that Wise is now getting focused. He's not going to survive for long. There he goes. And there also goes the T22. The Fosh. Ooh, that was a very expensive hit, and costing them a lot of health to take out that Fosh. The one Mo is almost gone, and he actually is gone. And now it's just No Party Without Me versus 3 guys that will use Premo, that will not hesitate, that might still bounce a few, but it's not gonna last, and this second game will be for Navin. Very well played. He's still alive, don't know how, but it's not gonna last long, and there he goes. And the second game is for Navin as well, but what a quick game. 2.5 minutes, that's it. So that is the second game also gone to Navin. That kind of starts putting the pressure on, because the team that gets the first 4 victories is actually the one that gets the point. And we see that Stopy has been moved back in, and we are going to Desert Sands. Let me pull up that map for you. Desert Sands looks like this. You have 3 bases. Base A in the desert, base B in the open in the city, and base C much more protected in the city. But there are a lot of lines of fire into all bases, and basically whoever caps C is sort of like out of commission for a little bit. Personally, I much prefer the positioning around base A. It is, I feel that with the ridges and the hills and the dunes and all that, it just works a lot better than the city. Unless, of course, you're super heavy, then the city generally works better. But like I said, these are teams that can go anywhere they want. And with just over a minute left to go, I'm going to take away the map so that it won't be blocking your screen. And we see that Navin has completely read it up with 2 T22s, 2 E5s, a Batchat, an STB, and an E50M. So that is a lot of mobility, especially considering the fact that the E5 now has that speed boost with the new consumables and all of that. And they're going to go up against 3 215Bs, 2 Object 140s, and 2 Foshes. Let's actually ready up so that I can't miss the battle, because that's generally helpful, because I've done it before in previous tournaments where I forgot to ready up and I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, I don't want to miss this battle, because the further we get, the more important the battles become. And points are important. If you get 4 points, I think it's... No, actually, no, I have no idea. But you need points in order to advance to the final stage. So it is important to get any point that you want, that you can get. So here we go for the third battle of RTK versus Navin. And I wonder how the E5 will perform, because it has always been a quite strong tank. They ruined it when they removed the cupola, making it a lot less fun to drive, but it has made it more of a heavy to drive. And it will be tricky, really. And with Navin not using any mediums, not any TDs, I mean, they are lacking the big guns that RTK does have, but it does make it difficult to counter, because the Mets will have to play defensively, because that Batchat is probably going to spot anyone that's going over, and they're doing so quite nicely with the STB already been spotted. Ooh, Stopy losing quite a bit of HP just crossing over. That does mean that the rest can cross over relatively safely. The 140s have to be careful. That is not a shot you want to miss. And they can't really pull back together. Navin now has the base. They will have the advantage. The Batchat is in the middle. And we have all of RTK being spotted now in the desert. And they will have to move together. Gassio taking some damage. And we see first shots happening. The Foshes moving in. Wanted to take out those E5s. And Stopy is almost gone. There he goes. And now we basically just entered the brawl stage. Anything can happen here. They are not shooting the same targets. And that is a tricky thing. Ooh, but there goes one E5. Both teams have lost 2 tanks now. But it is a tricky thing. The Fosh is still reloading. And there goes Virus. It is 5 versus 4, but the Wamo is in trouble. He is not going to survive this one. But they are losing a ton of HP trying to take out RTK's tanks, and in this case RTK has the definite advantage if those Foshes reload in time. Wise is still alive somehow. Massive hit into the E50M there. And he really wants Wiser, but he's not getting him. Still alive. And it is 4 versus 2. Base A is being ignored. We have the Batchat that is rushing in. But it's a T22 that they're up against. But there's 2 Foshes now focusing on 1 T22. And he is using Zerd as cover, which is very clever, but not long enough. And there goes the Batchat as well, killed by the one-shot Wiser that manages to survive. And that is a very fast game as well. My lord. So that is a very different pace that we saw. 2 minutes 13 seconds, that's how quick that was. So we are now going into the 4th match of this best of 7. And I have a feeling that you can't really push like that a second time. At least they will be a lot more prepared for it if they do. But we see R2K readying up in a similar but slightly different team. They removed one Force and put in place a T22 medium. And they now have 3 215Bs, 240s, a T22 medium and a Force. And they will go up against 2 T22 mediums, 2 215Bs, 2 E50Ms and an STB. I think the STB is the odd one out here, mainly because it can perform really well, but it's not a brawler. So it can be a bit of a risk to take it with you into a match like this if they intend to brawl again. So we are 52 seconds away from seeing the 4th match of the best of 7, the 2nd match on Desert Sands. And like I said, the pressure is starting to build quite a little bit. Because you want to get the early points. The safer you are later on in in the professionals tournament, the easier it's get. Not necessarily the matches, but you can just breathe. And if you have a bad day, that's allowed as well. So you really want to get these points early on to just make sure that you have a bit of breathing space. And with 22 seconds left to go, everyone is ready. Only the game is not. And 10 seconds countdown clock begins. And I am eager to see what they're gonna do with so many 215Bs and the T22s, of course. I think that right now it's still a very strong tank, the T22, but people are getting more used to dealing with it. And that can work against it. Because even if you get behind it or beside it, you generally will probably do more damage. This is also a lovely camo on the 215B, it does look good. I wouldn't be surprised if this tank gets a legendary camo after this tournament. We haven't really seen any signature move yet. And we see similar movements happening to last time. All tanks going into the desert. Wise is spotting and the STB trying to spot as well. Lines of fire happening but no damage being done yet. And Wise holding wisely. Nothing possibly preparing for a rush. The STB holding off a bit to the back. Wunderkind pretty forwards in the TD. Not being spotted for it. The E5 has been switched out. I think, even though it is a lot stronger than it used to be, it's still not a tournament tank. And ooh, Wise in potential trouble there. But the heavies are there. The whole team is there. But Wise does have to be careful. First shots happening. Little bits of damage being done. But not all that much. The Force moving in. But not having the gun depression to make it work. Virus taking a big hit there. And there goes Wunderkind. Wanting to get that. Ooh, that was Virus just deleted. And we have entered the brawl stage again. I'm not sure which side to show you. Wise losing a ton of HP. The T22 almost out of commission. Zerd is gone. And it is all about the focus fire. Who has the best of it? Who is in the position where you don't want to be? It is 6 versus 4 already. And they are focus firing the T22. But they are getting a bit in each other's way. It is 4 versus 5 now. But overall, the T22 is going to be out of commission. There goes the Force, but there also goes 2 tanks. It is 4 versus 2. It is going very quickly. R2K is basically slaughtering them. And they're leaving the 1 Mo to deal with the STB, which is not a brawler, whereas these 3 tanks deal with the 1 E50M. And there he goes with a flying turret, leaving the last one alive to be the STB, who shoots the sand, and that is not helpful when you're in a 1v1. The 1 Mo just going to shoot him now, and the rest of the team steadily arriving. The 1 Mo is not going to die because of the pretty slow reload of the STB. And there he goes. And the Fourth match is for RTK as well. And again, it turned into a brawl quite quickly. And I love seeing that the Force was hesitant until he saw he could clip Virus. He didn't get to, because Virus was gone before he did, but that is something that I like. It's reading what your team needs you to be. And after that was just full on brawl and just wow. So now we are going into the fifth match of this matchup, and we are going to Middelburg. And Middelburg looks like this year: 3 bases, 2 in the town, 1 in the hills. Personally, I prefer the positioning in the hills, but it has only 1 base, so basically holding the city can be more important here than holding the hill. But it is generally easier to go from the hill to the city than the other way around. So it will be fun to see what they do. I'll take away the map so that it's not in your screen anymore, but you do have a general inkling of where we're going to go next. We have RTK completely read up in 2 mice, a T22 medium, 3 215Bs and an Object 140. And there are the E5s again on Navin's side. And I think that is brave. With the speed boost they can get anywhere, but the tank itself hasn't changed. And with I'm not sure if the new consumables give the E5 the extra edge that it needs to perform in a tournament. But we have 37 seconds left. One of them hasn't readied up yet. And there we go. Navin completely readied up now with 2 T22 mediums, 2 E5s, 2 E50Ms and STBs. So a very mobile lineup. And I think they will definitely be focusing on the hillside. Unless, of course, they go for a rush, because that's also always a possibility. So with 10 seconds left to go, here we go, countdown clock starting. And I'm curious what will happen. The scores are even right now, so it can go every which way. And here we go. Let's see what they do. Mice obviously meant and made to hold the city. And if they cap those bases, and if they then just hold, they could have this. But it will very much depend on where Navin is going with this. We see the mice heading towards base B. And we see Navin a little bit towards base C, staying into the hills. The only one that is left is Arthur in his E5. Base B is being capped. And R2K is holding. There's no one there. And we see Gassio moving on to base A. Zerd potentially in trouble if he stays back there. Both teams have a base almost exactly at the same time. Navin having a tiny point advantage. Gassio. We have the E5 being spotted now. Gassio taking a hit. But he is capping the base. He just needs to angle himself well. And he does so, knowing where the E5s are. E5's taking a big hit there for trying to decap him. And now we have the Mets rushing in from the hill. And again go every which way. Gassio now in trouble. He can't cap this. And he is now in serious trouble. RTK will have to hold well, and Gassio has to pull back. He can't stay where he is. But he is still capping the base. But he lost so much health doing that. But we have so much HP being lost by Navin. The STB in a lot of trouble. The mouse reloading. The E5 steadily losing HP. YOLO almost gone. And I love that Gassio is still alive. He's not going to be alive much longer. There he goes. And they will have to make quick work of that STB and the T22. But overall, HP-wise, RTK is doing so much better. Now gun-wise, it's even. It's not no longer even, but they lost so much HP. There goes an E5. And even with the E50Ms arriving, this is not going to be Navin's game. This is definitely RTK's game. And I think the capping that Gassio did, even though it cost him his virtual life, it was exactly what was needed for RTK. And Narvin too spread out, going every which way, trying to have basically 3 battlefronts, and it didn't work. If those mats had stuck together, if they had moved as a pack, if they had attacked as a pack and focused fire together, the result could have been very different. But because they were all over the place, they were sort of like making it easy to be picked off. So now the pressure is on Narvin, because we go to the second match on Middleburg, but we have the fact that it's the potentially fourth victory for R2K. So it is a 6th game, and like I said, the first team to reach 4 victories gets the point. So that definitely puts the pressure on. And I want to know what happens. So we have a mouse, we have 2 140s, we have 2 215Bs, a T22 medium and a Foch, versus 2 T22 mediums, 2 E5s, 2 E50Ms and 140. So very similar lineup. I don't think they can get away with doing the same thing, but like I said, if they move as a pack, if they had stuck together, it could have been very, very different last game. So I'm one of the 140, no, tanks are changing. The E5s are being switched out, looks like, and they're being exchanged by 2 215Bs. It is a tricky tank to drive though. I still have issues and problems trying to drive the 215B. So that is not something, I don't envy them. I much prefer to drive the E5. But like I said, even with the new consumables, I don't feel it has enough of an edge to be a tournament tank again. And even though it can be strong, teams will have had very little opportunity to actually train with the new and improved E5. And that is just, yeah, it didn't help them 2 games now. And I'm sad because I do like, well, I liked the E5 as in past tense. But yeah. But here we go into the 6th match of this matchup. And we are ready. And let's see what they do. Different side of the map. Different plans. There's my T95E6. It's gonna be a gorgeous corpse soon. He's actually gonna explode. Here we go. And I wonder what they're gonna do. If they're all gonna go city. Ooh, they're actually going to go to the hill. And it is Zerd on his own in the mouse that is going to go city. And that can be a risk. All of Narvin is going to the hill as well. We have Weiser heading into the city. But this could be very, very tricky. R2K holding in their spawn. Wanting to get that push. Weiser being protected by Zerd, and who else is there? The one Mo. And look at this. They're just waiting. Wanting to absorb the fast tanks as they come. Both teams have a base now. But Narvin is not taking any chances. They're not moving separately. They haven't spotted anyone. And we have Zerd in the mouse heading towards base B very, very slowly. And the rest of the team is all waiting. They have been spotted, most of them. And the E50M at the back there has not been spotted. That is cheeky. Gassio in potential trouble there. But pulling back. So the strike taking some damage. Gassio taking a tiny bit of damage as well. Now one of the E50Ms has been... Oh, both of them have been spotted now. Wunderkind waiting in the Foch. Zerd heading towards the hill. But he's in a mouse, so it will take him forever to get anywhere. Ooh, YOLO just took a massive hit. And he is almost gone. He is gone, actually. And we have the T22 moving in. Basically, we enter the brawl now. There goes no party without me. And R2K is pulling back slightly towards the mouse that is coming. The Foch being focused on, but he just reloaded. And it's so important that he gets his shots in. He's gonna get rammed to death. There he goes. And both teams have lost 2 tanks, but HP-wise, R2K still has the advantage. Gassio now being focused on. He's not going to survive this. Arthur a one-shot, but he's taken out. Not yet. But there he goes. It is 4 versus 3. This is RTK's game. HP-wise, there's just too much difference. And there's only one healthy tank left. And that is just arriving and is brawling with its counterpart. They are ramming the 1-4. Oh, he wanted to ram, but it was a missed ram. And even though they take out Wiser, it is now 3 versus 1. And there he goes. Zerd finishing it off in his mouse. And that is the 4th victory for RTK, and that means that RTK gets the point of this matchup. Very nicely played. That just waiting in the spawn. This is so important in tournament battles. Not necessarily waiting in your spawn, because yeah, but being patient, playing it patiently, letting the enemy come to you. If you have the stronger positions, if you are prepared for it, it can work out so well. Look at the HP. I'm not just... I mean, you always get more when you win. But there's 3 people that got more than 1k XP in a tournament match. That, I believe, that is lovely. Yeah, that was a great game. So let's see, when is our next... I think it is in about 34 minutes. Karna has a point. Loka has a point. RTK has a point. Let's see, what is EG doing? Still versus Raid. Ooh, that's a tough one. So we don't know. That's the only one that we don't know yet. Who did Karna fight? FBI. 4-0. Wow. And Loka was versus Win. 4-1. Exciting matches for sure. So yeah, that means that I have time to show you some replays. And that is, let's see what I have for you. I actually have some of my own replays to show you today. Mainly because I'm very much in love with the new European tank. So I'm going to show you some of that. These are replays that I will be probably streaming like in all the streams for all the servers. But the thing is that I can get away with that. Especially on a day where I don't really have the point streams. Yeah. So we have about half an hour of replays to go. Let's see what I have. I'm actually going to start with the tier 7 of the bunch of the new line. It's one of the tanks I actually like least of the line. And I was mainly playing it knowing that I had to ace it somehow. Because it will get harder later on. And I like getting aces. And in new lines it can be relatively easier because people don't really know how to deal with the tanks yet. So basically Winter Malinovka, also not one of my favorite maps. But with us having way more fast tanks, well not way more, with us having more fast tanks than the other team, I decided to go to A and just use my team as either backup or meat shields. Because that's generally the way to get aces in my opinion. And we have tanks arriving. I take the time to shoot him. I get away with it, little bounce. But then we have a Pantera here. And the Pantera is actually a very lovely tank. And I managed to bounce that as well, and that really surprised me. I activate my adrenaline mainly because I know I need to take him out. And he needs to be gone, or I'm in a lot of trouble. So when he moves back and starts to not really completely focus on me anymore, I just move in and I finish him off. And then I just go into the base because I want the cap points. I'm hoping to shoot these guys, which helps if they would stand still because now I'm missing and that is quite useless. But I do get a nice cap point advantage for my team here. Because there's 2 tanks of theirs out of commission already. And with the KV-13 there I do get a shot in just before he's murdered. So that's a tiny bit more damage for me. But overall, so far I've mostly just had a lovely team. And this is the thing, when you are up against tanks that can very massively murder you, you pull back, and he does still very much hurt me and turns me into a one-shot for quite a few tanks. So I just need to get him out of commission before he shoots me again. And then hopefully, there we go, he gets set on fire, which is generally helpful. But I finish him off with a high roll of 79 damage. We have the T49 there, which is tricky for me because he can definitely one-shot me. So I want to be a bit careful, but at the same time, the last remaining enemies are all in the middle. And we just have to see who we can murder. There we go, I got a nice little shot into the T49. He's not focused on me, luckily. The thing is that I'm taking a risk here, but at the same time, I just... no guts, no glory, basically. So I go after the T49. And I kill him off. And then the last one there is a tiger. I'm 2.1. Yes, I'm a very lucky bot as well. So we have the tiger. So I activate my adrenaline to get the max amount of damage from this as I can. But I don't get any other shot. But it's 2.4k damage game in tier 7. Not too fancy. Not too special either. But it was a lovely team. I loved that the team just rotated together basically. But overall I did get 345 supremacy points. 238 assisted damage. 3 spots. Overall I think that this was mainly just a very easy ace. I think it's difficult to do very well in this tank. So yeah, that is the first of the replays that I'm going to show you. I'm not going to be showing you all kinds of me. I am going to show you some others as well. So let me just grab some for you. Because I got some lovely R2K replays as well. So I'm going to mix those with what I have. And we are going to stick to tier 7 for just a little bit. Just saving the replays, so hang on. Thing is that I used to have just the normal blitz on my PC, but since I at some point installed the Steam version I should say, for some reason it refuses to just open the replays in that. So let's see, here we go. Another tier 7 game in one of the most lovely tanks there are. I absolutely adore the Dracula. I also adore this map. I love this map. But I love this map more in Supremacy. I just generally love Supremacy. And let's see what they do. What he does. Stopey, new to R2K, used to be in EG. But definitely a great player. Obviously, otherwise he wouldn't have been in EG. And he would like some help, but there's actually no one coming. And that can be a massive disadvantage. He's spotting very cheekily, but it can work out. And he gets missed there, so that is... I have to say that is a bit of luck, even though it's only tier 7. Because the Dracula is so juicy. Basically all that you have to do is breathe on him to damage him. And now he misses, moving back as he shoots. And that's actually costing him the shot. And now he's not even aiming. So he decides to see what his team is doing. His team is steadily getting shot. So he is very wisely moving back towards his team. Because on his own you don't know where the campers are. And they are likely on the hill on the other side, overlooking where base D would be, which is where we see the light tank now. And now he's just moving in fast. It is gonna hurt him to do this. He activates his adrenaline. You can see that he has actually the equipment that allows him to use his consumables for longer. The VK moving in. Ooh, Arl missing him. That is very good for Stopey. And there goes the Arl. But he does take quite some damage doing this. This VK though, and that fire definitely... Ooh, nice bounce. Bouncing on the Dracula is like a sort of different skill altogether. And now he just has to get one more shot in to murder the VK. He's aiming for the turret because that is generally a set way to get the kill, get the damage in. That is. We have the bulldog at the back. It is 3 versus 4. It is a bit of a pickle because the TDs still haven't been spotted, but they have been doing the damage. We can guess where they are because you saw that he bounced 225, so they are likely on the hill. The T-25-2 is moving, and he was actually anticipating him to move more. The Dicker Max moving. There we go. Ooh, that ammo rack though. That is one lucky T-22 too. And that shot misses. The VK not being in exactly a good position. The Dicker Max. And Stopey is health-wise not looking the best. Yes, it's definitely his fault that you got ammo racked, for sure. And now he just has to play it patiently. Steve peeking out. And now he has been spotted. But you really want that one shot out of the way. 3k damage in. There's a lot of damage to be had. He gets another shot in. Doesn't take any damage for it. But Steve could potentially clip him. And that is something that you really don't want. Even if you're Dracula. And he navigates around the corpses quite nicely. Waiting for Steve to get some shots in. The T-25-2 coming at the rear. And he misses, and that is very good for Stopey. And this might hurt. Ooh, he misses as well. And now it's just Steve that he has to contend himself with. Ooh. But now he fired the second one. And unless he reloads the clip, that could give Stopey an advantage. Which Stopey is realizing as well. So he's changing positions, going somewhere else altogether. There's 2 minutes left. But you will still need about 3 shots to finish off Steve. Steve seems to have a little bit of trouble driving and not really understanding what he needs to do. Because he should have very easily won this. Just Strijdwagen with the health that he had. But Stopey takes it home for 4.5k damage and 6 kills. And a Kodo battle in the Dracula. Wow. 1481 basic speed. That is nuts. That is an amazing game. Well done. Crates from watching the stream on the portal will be put on your account approx 15 minutes after the crate stream ends. This is something, there's some advertisement in this playlist that I use. But it is actually working out because so far no copyright claims yet, so that's a good thing. So that is one that I had, so I'm going to interchange that with one of mine. Let's see. I'm actually going to show you a thing that I found quite funny. This tank has been overbuffed. It is not necessarily OP. It has just been overbuffed. And this is the thing. For me, and you will see that in this replay, the funniest and the weirdest thing is that the upper plate of the Tiger 2 is now better armored than the lower plate. But if you use calibrated shells and if you use Premo, you can just shoot through the upper plate. And that is the funny thing, because this is a very typical matchup, because this is one of the reasons that I wanted to show this. I mainly drove it to see how much it has been overbuffed and to see how if I could do well in it. Because Tiger 2 it's a good tank. It's not necessarily the most OP tank ever, but it's a good tank. So I get a nice little bounce there. The Helsing getting completely in the way, being utterly annoying. And there we have another Tiger 2. We have a Lowy here. I bounce on him. That is not useful. I am bouncing shots. The Helsing luckily going behind me a bit more. And the Tiger 2 now moving. Look at that. Look at the upper plate being less armored than the lower plate. So I just decide to start focusing on the Tiger. I don't hesitate to use Premo. I never do when I feel it serves me better. And again, you can see that the lower plate is less armored. Is more armored than the upper plate. It's just so funny. And they keep bouncing on me. That's even funnier because I can tell that he is not using calibrated. The Helsing has now moved into YOLO. Base C is being contended for. And I bounce another shot of his. Because he has no idea how to go against me. I could also shoot the turret, but I'm actually having a good time shooting just this upper plate with Premo. I'm not hesitant to use Premo, like I said. There's no need for me to be shy with it. But for the last shot, I do shoot him in the face. So it is 5 versus 4, but they have 2 bases. And at this stage, I see that there's a Miet coming up behind us. So I just decide to go for him instead. He will have friends, but that's fine. He bounces on me as well. I've bounced more than I've actually done damage, especially now. And I'm just waiting, wanting to shoot the Emil, wanting to shoot the Borsig. But I mainly shoot his gun, which is very useless. And then I just wait, because he's just now fired, which means that I basically have a free shot here. I bounce some more, and there goes the Borsig. And we have a Panther and a Tankenstein in front of me. So I missed that shot because he tracks me, and that sort of like keeps me from moving. I am taking damage now. The Panther showing me a juicy butt, so I murder him first. The Tankenstein also showing me a butt, but it's not as juicy. So I just wait to reload. But he gets killed before I can. And there we have the Emil. I load HE for him, because that does a little bit more damage. But now I don't need to, so I actually switch back to AP to make it, but I don't get the chance. So I blocked more damage than I actually shot. I got 2 kills. Possibly some assisted damage. But it was a nice ace, nice steel wall. It is overbuffed. It is not OP because it doesn't really work like that, but it is definitely overbuffed. So that was a pretty short game, only 3 minutes long, but it was funny as heck for me. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you one more replay before we have the next matchup, and it's going to be Zerd in a 215B new meta tank. OP tank driven by an OP player makes for a very OP stuff. Again, this camouflage, I love it. I hope they bring it into the game at some point. At the same time, it's nice that it is so rare. Because I think only RTK has it. Or at least, not even the current RTK, but the old RTK. So, not Supremacy, so it's heading towards the middle. By the looks of it. In the meantime, I'm actually also having Brian's stream on to get stuff. So he's casually going into the middle here, having plenty of time. And you can just take it easy. And first shot of damage in. Lovely blocking teammates, that's always a good thing to have, not. But the E75 shoots the ground, gets set on fire a little bit. And again, Zerd just switches to Premo. This is the thing. You need to not be shy to use Premo. You need to just be prepared to use whatever the game can give you. And in this case, that is Premo. So, let's see. He is repositioning himself to get some more damage in. His team is in a bit of a pickle, especially the Moiskin there. E75 finally being taken out, but the Moiskin is not far behind. There's a lovely spaghetti there. I love the spaghetti. I really want it. The 1-2-0 pulling back. Spaghetti going after the tortoise. And this isn't really not looking good for Zerd's team. And he's a bit hesitant, not sure where he wants to go. And he doesn't even switch to HE for that. He's in a pretty good position, but he's not really in a good team position, as in his team is getting slaughtered. That very cheeky shot to the cheek of the IS-4, that's literally a cheeky shot, really. There we go. He is still full health, but his team is steadily evaporating. And he has to be careful, he has to make it work. But he can't even really shoot the IS-4 now. And he has the choice to either go forwards or to go backwards and deal with the 120. But the IS-4 is actually not making it difficult for him. Coming for him. And with the next reload, he is gone. And now it's 2v2. The Grill is still alive, nearly full health. But Zerd is in a pretty OP tank. Funny thing is that he's not using the speed boost. Ooh, there's the DS there. And the DS is AFK, maybe? Or really wanting the Grill. That's of course also a possibility. So now he just catches him. And this is lovely, because now the 1-2-0 is definitely a one-shot. So he just has to reload and then murder him. Ooh, he just got back to life. And Zerd doesn't even bother fixing it. And he finishes him off. 3 kills in, 5.9k damage. And the Grill that blocked him in the beginning helped him take it home. Lovely little game, little bit of assisted damage. All shots going in. That is what we do it for. So now the room will be up in less than 10 minutes, which means that I will not be showing you another replay because I don't want to risk that. So let's have a quick look at the whole tournament scene as it is right now. This is also funny. Professionals ranked lower than the Challenger tournament. This is the current situation that we have. Raid lost to EG. So basically at the moment it is RTK, Karna, EG and Loka that all have a point. But the next matchup will be telling, let's see who is facing who. And this is what we will be following. We will have RTK versus Loka. Karna will have... This is why I like the system of the 2 round robins actually better than I like this one. Mainly because I think it's more fair. Karna is up against Navin. EG is up against Win. And that means the FBI, I believe, is up against Raid. Let's have a look. Yes. Overall, that's quite lovely. I like these kind of battles. I like these kind of tournaments. I do feel that the format that we have right now could do with a lot of improvement. I don't like that there's so many battles squeezed into so few days. I don't like that there's only 1 round robin. I do like that it's a best of 7. I do love the map selection for the actual final stage. Because it has been taken into account that the maps that are used in the grand finals will not be used before. I dislike that not all streams give stuff. I do like that it is rotated fairly. I dislike that there's more battles and more battle days. No, not necessarily more battles, but more battle days in the Ascension tournaments that led to this than in the actual professionals tournament. I think that is weird. So yeah, there's lots of space for improvement, but overall, I do like that it's best of 7. And I like that the finals is even more battles than that. I see the question that, can I know how to get the black camo that everyone has? I think you mean the graphite camo. And the graphite camo is actually given in a Steam bundle. For some reason there's some sort of sale going on. So if you have Blitz on Steam, or if you have a computer and can just install it even if you don't play it, you can get that bundle for like 41 cents euro or 36 pence pounds or something, I don't know, but very cheaply, because you get like a 95% discount, something like that, weird, but, and you get the Streetwagen, and you get some credits, and you get some poopsters and stuff. It's a lovely little sale. It's something that I can definitely advise you to try to get, I should say. But yeah, you do need Steam for it. You need the Steam Blitz for it. But like I said, you can just do that even if you don't play. That's mainly why I have it on my computer as well, the Steam version. Even though I just use the normal version for the Windows Store and not the Steam version to actually play. Just make sure that you are logged into the game on Steam Blitz using the account that you actually want it on, because you can only get it once per Steam account. But that's what I said. It's credits, it's poopsters, but it's also 10 graphite camouflage things. I can't show you it here because this is a press account. I don't buy anything on the press account, but I do have it on my main. So it is potentially worth looking into. We are about 4 minutes away from getting the room invite. You are looking at my very lovely T95 E6 that I absolutely adore. I'm waiting for Wargaming to fill up my press account to get spaghetti on here. But for now, this is what I have. Let's see. I can open the container. This is something a lot of people complain about, the containers. I complain about crate tanks. I complain about crates a lot. But this is free stuff. And anything free is more than nothing. So definitely enjoy that. You get some boosters, you get some coins. The coins go towards the FCM. If you watch streams, you get the FCM. You get coins for the FCM as well. And you have the part of a certificate for 100 gold. So it is not that bad. I still have patent charms on here. I still have candles on here. Let's see. Where are my coins? You can't actually see them. I'm not sure where you can get them. I can combine these. But overall, this account is really not for playing. That's why I have very little battles and very little everything on it. Funny thing is though, I do have 276 tournament battles. And that has everything to do with streaming, because it counts those battles. But yeah, that's just a funny fact. Overall, I do love having a press account. It lets me test tanks before I decide whether or not I want to buy them. But when you get... this is free stuff as well, so I like that. With the current event that's going on. But if you look at the bundles, and you look at the crates... And you think of the fact that it's actually... like... €5.50 for one crate. And here you can get 3 for €11. And actually, let's have a look. What is the drop rate? I can't actually see that. Oh wait, I should click this. A 3% drop rate. So you can get a little bit more of stuff generally. But a 3% drop rate, and it costs you €5.50. I expect that for the T22, obviously, because it's tier 10 and it's overpowered. Ooh, there's a room invite. But just not for this. But yeah, okay. Let's focus on this. We are going to Fort Despair. Fort Despair, where are you? Fort Despair looks like this. You have 3 bases. Base A that is completely in the open. Base B that has a little bit more shelter. And base C that is pretty sheltered but still has a lot of lines of fire in it. Especially also from the camping positions of the bunkers that are sort of destroyed but that you can peek out of. It is a map that is of course known for Raid's signature move of last Twister Cup season, where they pushed people into the lower right corner. And overall, it is a pretty small map. It is made for super heavies and heavies to hold. It can perform really well in that function. Again, it is a best of 7 this matchup, so it can go every which way. I of course hope for tiebreakers for fun. And we see that RTK has completely ready up, and Loka now as well, with little less than 4 minutes left to go. So let's have a look at that. They have plenty of time to decide if this is what they're going to stick to or if they're going to change stuff. But we see that Zerd is taking a mouse. Like I said, this map invites super heavies to be played. And we have Gassio and Wise both in the 215Bs. No Party Without Me in the 215 in the T22 medium. Playmaker in the Ice 4 and Wunderkind in the Fosh. He's done wonderful things in that so far. And they are up against Loka in 3 113s, an STB, 2 Ice 4s, and a Fosh. So that is a very different lineup. But we see that for a lot of teams right now, the weird thing is that this is gonna sound weird, but I always sort of miss the a part of the clan loyalty with the competitive clans. It's not that they're not really loyal to the clan, but you see that there's a lot of changes amidst the players when you get tournaments like this. Like Unicum and Yuriki didn't used to be in Loka. Karolak as well, I believe. I'm not entirely certain about that one, but basically everyone is changing. RGK's team is very different from last season, and we have EG of course, which is new, which is sort of like whatchamacallit, I can't remember the name. That's so stupid. It was a grey clan that did fantastic things. I can't remember it. I'll think of it later, hopefully. But yeah, EG combined Eros, that's the one. Of mostly Eros and XRTKs mainly in Karna now, and Karna is just also a mixture of clan players. And the thing is, it's also because you can't have more teams per clan anymore. So basically Wargaming is forcing people to get out of their clan and into a different team. But the thing is, if you are not picked for the team for the clan that you actually wanted to come out for, you can still potentially join other teams. So we see a lot of changes even between the Ascent tournaments and now. And that just makes it very tricky. We still see some changes being made, but we have a minute and a half left to go. But that's something I'm not saying that it upsets me or whatever, but I would like if... No, that's also not, it's not none of my business that way, but for me, I can't think of any reason why I would leave GNA. Of course, if we were to actually have a competitive tournament team, I would probably be the one leading it, so I wouldn't have to leave. But yeah, it is... and I say that, by the way, not because I'm the best, but because when we do play tournaments, I am the caller. So yeah. But it's something that I always find weird to see. Weird is too weird a word, but yeah. Odd to see, maybe. Because I can't imagine leaving my clan for competitive things. At the same time, there is $100,000 riding on this, and even though that's for the whole prize pool, and not just us, not just the winning team, or the second place, or the third place, or the fourth place. It's just everything together, but it's still a lot of money, even when you have to still deduct taxes and all of that. But yeah, we are ready to go. Loka having a very mobile lineup with a lot of DPM. And we see that the other side now has a 2-6-3 in their midst. So that will be fun. YOLO Wagon has not been seen yet in the professionals today, at least. So here we go. Let's see what they do. And those 113s, they were so strong last Twister. But we barely see them now. So I'm kind of curious how they will perform. Because they do have the DPM, but they're also pretty juicy. And we see R2K focusing primarily on the C side. Loka going more towards the middle. And we have Playmaker heading more towards A, towards the overlooking position. Potentially gonna get spotted by the STB. But he does not. Gassio has been spotted though, they know that there's people behind there. No party without me not making a move yet. I have to be careful at this tower because this tower can actually get me stuck. As a camera. It's weird. Base B is being taken. Zerd having taken a tiny bit of damage in the mouse. Ooh! Big hit into Weiser there. And we have no party without me now making a move. Potentially in the line of fire of the Force. No skill, just Vano taking a blind shot there. Not managing to pen. And I wonder if no party without me is going to be able to cap it. Ooh, he just gets reset. But now he's on a drum reload. And he might be able to cap it before it is over. But Zerd has lost quite a bit of HP in the mouse. And overall, Loka has a 2 tank point advantage. The Force still taking a shot. Reloading his clip right away. Gassio taking some damage. Ooh, that was a massive hit into the STB there. And he immediately pulls back. But overall, we are in a bit of a stalemate situation now. Nobody without me is getting the heck out of there. Playmaker has been spotted. Shots being fired, no damage being done on both sides. But he has to be careful. You don't want to overexpose and risk it. 113 arriving. Playmaker now in a bit of trouble. You don't really want to be there. With so many tanks shooting at you. Playmaker getting shot from every side. He can only go forwards. And just use what position he has. But if he pulls backwards, he's pulling into the line of fire of the STB and the IS-4. And he's being not careful enough. Loka in good holding positions. Playmaker losing even more HP. I'm not sure what he's doing. Zerd just lost a ton of HP. And R2K is sort of pushing, but not quite. Zerd almost gone. Taking a big hit into the Force there though. No party without me there, but Zerd is gone. And now no party without me has to be careful not to get murdered. Force is arriving. Playmaker is gone. Yudiki losing HP, but overall R2K is 2 tanks down. We have Wunderkind taking a nice hit into Baron. But overall, Gassio is now also gone. It is 4 versus 7. This is definitely going to be Loka's game. Especially with Weiser being obliterated like that. He might get one more shot in. But he doesn't. And it is 7 versus 3. It could be a potential 7-0 here. The Wombo being tracked. No, they do take out Baron. But the T-22 can't really get out of this situation alive. Even though he has Zerd's corpse to deal with. Ooh. Wunderkind. Almost reloaded. He does take out a tank before he dies. But still, it is 5 versus a 1 shot. And no party without me is not going to be able to take this home. And it's probably going to be the STB that finishes him off. Yeah, there we go. And the first game is for Loka. And that had everything to do with Loka having the positions and not sure what Playmaker was doing. He was just getting shot from a lot of angles. And I think that happening and Zerd pushing like he did in the mouse, losing way too much HP way too quickly, is what cost him the game. So in 1.5 minutes we get to go to the second matchup of this best of 7. And we see R2K readied up in 2 215Bs, 2 140s, a T22 medium and 2 IS4s. So no TDs anymore. And they are going to go up again. So let's see, because they are still readying up. So it can still go every which way. Let's see. But we still see the 113s. And that's, I think, because they do have the DPM. If not the much armor that people generally love. They have little less than a minute to finish ready up. So that's plenty of time. Overall, Loka held the map really well. Having that early base advantage because base B was capped and not decapped. 41 seconds left to go. And now Loka is still changing tanks. But we see that the 113s have been switched out. And there we go. We see 2 215Bs, a 268, 3 IS4s and a Force. So whereas they basically are taking the big guns with some true armor with relative mobility. Baron on readying, potentially taking a different tank. But yes, that's 6 seconds, he readies up again and we are ready to go for the second match. And here we go. Let's see what happens this match around. Thing is that this is a difficult map mainly because you can't really dominate 2 bases from the same spot. You can support your team in 2 spots, but you can't dominate 2 bases, and that makes it tricky. So let's see what is going on here. We have Playmaker and Wunderkind heading towards the middle, and we have the 215Bs together with the T22 and the Object 140s heading towards base C. And they are actually waiting for each other a little bit. And they will meet a lot of tanks there if they make a push. Karolak has been spotted. So is everyone but Gassio. And we see an immediate action going. Immediately, Karolak is being focused on. Zerd losing a lot of HP for it though. And it could potentially cost him a tank, whereas they might gain a tank as well, as in gun advantage. There goes Karolak. Zerd's still alive, but losing a lot of HP. Playmaker just absolutely getting obliterated. He's not going to be there for long. But look at the HP just vanishing on both sides, really. There goes Zerd, there goes Playmaker almost instantly. And there goes Baron. Now Ariana Grande is next on the line. There he goes. And we are basically entering an early brawl stage. And again, go every which way. No party without me is in trouble. The Force not getting any shots in, and that is very clever because that is the biggest gun that you want to avoid. We have Yudiki that is taking out Wiser. Yudiki now almost gone as well. It is 4 versus 4. HP wise, R2K has the advantage. 3 versus 3. Basically, Wunderkind can take a hit. It is 2 versus 3. They need to take out Rico. Or the person that is definitely not Rico. Wunderkind taking a massive hit there. They can't really afford to. Oof. That is a big hit into Wunderkind. Wunderkind now almost gone. 268 chasing after. And he needs to get that shot into the 268. Take him out. There we go. Very nicely played. Rico not getting a shot in. Gassio still has way too much HP. And he might take this home for them. He just has to play this carefully. There he goes. And now it's 1 full HP 140 versus 1 very few HP 215. He can definitely take the shot. But he's not really risking it. Not sure what he's doing. He doesn't need to be careful. Exactly. But there's plenty of time left. Gassio moving away. And now he has been unspotted. Rico's still in the same position. Not sure what that was all about though. But he takes it home. And I hope they made their tea because they had time for it. Okay, so that was going on. And the second game is for R2K. But look at the damage that Gassio did though. He was basically ignored. I think Loka blocking their own Fosh, keeping it out of the battle like that, unintentionally, but that is basically the result, is what cost them the game. Because if that Fosh had been able to participate into that brawl a lot more, it could have gone very differently. So it is now 1-1. We are moving on to Oasis Palm, so let me grab that map for you. It looks like this. It has 3 bases. Base A considered a heavy base, base B in the middle, and base C in the map base in the desert. Personally, I much prefer the positioning around base C, but it is more difficult to dominate 2 bases from base C perspective, whereas A and B are relatively close to each other with direct lines of fire into each other. But there's a lot of stalemate possibilities if you are going to that side, really, because you can just be facing off against each other. So I'll take away the map so that it's not in your screen. And we see that R2K has completely readied up with an STB, 2 215Bs, T22 medium, 140, a Batchat and a Fosh. So that is quite a bit of mobility versus 1, 2, 215Bs, 3 E5s, a 140 and IS4. And again, the E5, I'm very curious to see if they can make it, give it that edge. If the new consumables make it work enough. Because it is a good tank. It hasn't been really that competitive. And I'm not sure if the new consumables make it competitive enough to make it work. So we are entering the countdown. We are ready to go into the third match of this matchup. And here we go. Into the third match on Oasis Palms. And let's see what they do with this pretty mobile lineup. I would expect them to push C. At the same time, it's team battle, they can go everywhere. But we see that the Batchat is going into the town and he's going to meet a lot of people there. If he's not careful. So I'm hoping he's going to play very defensively and get the heck out of there very soon. Whereas R2K is focusing primarily on the C side. And Wise potentially in a lot of trouble soon. He is spotted. He's spotting a lot of people. He's getting eaten alive very quickly. And he's in trouble. Base C is being capped. Sir taking damage for capping immediately. They have a 140 and a 215B that are capping. Wise is still alive somehow. But R2K will have a base as well. But they lost quite a bit of HP because of Wise being in a very unfortunate position. And we have the 215Bs now going towards the middle. But they get spotted while doing so. So that could be tricky. Zert going with them. And the rest of R2K holding mainly in the desert. Thing is that they just have to make sure that base B isn't capped. But Loka has the point advantage. And they can afford to play carefully. Zert and the STB going through the middle. Potentially wanting to spot Yuriki. Yuriki has been spotted. Oh, ow! And now Zert has to be careful. Because he has a 215B that is there. He's not even shooting. He's just spotting. Making use of that. Gassio losing some HP for it. But look at the amount of HP that Yuriki lost. Oh my god, that was more than Wise lost. Gassio losing a tiny bit of HP. No skill, just Vano has. They are using that speed boost. That speed boost gets them places faster, but it doesn't make your tank better. It just makes them momentarily faster. Zerd moving back to the desert. Ooh, taking a nasty hit though. And another one. Baron heading towards base C. Loka has... There goes Yuriki. And we now have Wunderkind facing off against Unicum. Playmaker moving in. And they are focusing on Unicum. Unicum is being obliterated. And we have the E5 there. T22 taking out Unicum. Base C is being kept, but Loka has lost 2 guns now. And even though they don't have a chance against this fully reloaded Foch. And even though the Foch might die for this, he does not get the shot. And Rico is gone. It is 6 versus 4. HP wise, the tanks of Loka are doing better. We have a 215B versus a 215B here, and one of the 215Bs will win. The question is which one. Karolak wanting to support his member but losing HP. Base B is being kept. And there goes both 215Bs. It is 5 versus 3. But Loka has more HP. Baron still very healthy. Karolak not so much. He just has to make sure that that pans. But it does not do enough. Oh my god, why is it in trouble now? RTK has the base. They are capping base B as well. Zerd getting shot in the rear. But that allows Weiser to reload and kill off Karolek after all. And now we just have Baron left for Loka. And Weiser is moving in. At this stage there are a lot of one-shots. And Baron seems to be giving up, not trying. There's a lot of one-shots, he could potentially do this. But he's not gonna. And there he goes with the flying turret. Not sure why he gave up like that. With so many low HP targets. But well played, nice brawl. That spot by Zerd of Yuriki. And Yuriki just oof. But before then, why is it same oof kind of moment? So it is now 2-1 and we go to the second match on Oasis Palms. And we are ready. Well, at least I am ready. The teams are not. We see that Castu is probably grinding the new line now. I do like that there are more nations now. I do love the new line. Absolutely adore the new line. And with just over a minute left to go, people are being exchanged. Tanks are being switched. And neither team has like completely readied up yet. And has not yet decided what they're going to drive. But now we see the RTK. Ooh, an FV405. Don't see that one often. We see a 215B, 2 of them. We see an IS-4, a T-22 medium, a batch-jetted, the FV405, and an Object 140. And they're going to go up against a 268, an E5, a 215B, a batch-jet, an IS-4, a Foch, and a STB. So those are very different lineups from what we just saw. And the FV, it can perform really well. It is of course a clipper, which makes it a very interesting tank. But it's also a liability because of that, and because of the fact that it's so achievable by so many tanks. But if it can carry its own weight, then it's definitely worth the risk. So 13 seconds left to go, and then we go in. And here we go. Let's see what happens with these lineups. Let's have a look-see. I do like that camo, it looks pretty good. That one I like the coloring less, but it is fancy with the dragons. And here we go, let's go up and away. And we have RTK focusing pretty much the same thing as we saw last time on the desert side. And we have Loka focusing a bit more on the desert side now as well. But still with Weiser in a potentially tricky position. I think he's going to be a bit more careful with how he's spotting right now. He's already turning around, spotting someone, and like, nope, let's not be here. But I don't think that means that RTK will expect that they are all in the city now, because only one of them has been spotted. Gassio has been spotted. We have Baron there, we see lines of fire happening. And they are grabbing base A. But RTK is not at liberty to take base C. Shots are being fired at Gassio. He is going to troll cap. He is going to take some damage doing that. But they also know where some of the campers are now. Definitely not Rico. Is lost a little bit of HP. Wise all alone there. And R2K rotating back. I think they smell the weakness that is in the city, as most of Loka's guns are focused on the desert. Base C being troll capped. Zerd taking some damage. Gassio has to be careful. Zerd losing too much damage there, just crossing over. And the FV has been spotted. Oh, Zerd just lost a ton of health more. This is not a position you want to be in. And City Loka is now being rushed. Oh, but no party without me lost a ton of HP doing that. And there is a Forsh that is rushing in. Rico is almost gone. There he goes. But Gassio is also gone. And we have a lot of HP dropping all around. Zerd has been taken out. Unicum still alive, not anymore. Both teams lost 2 guns. HP wise, Loka has about a 1k advantage. And we have a Forsh that is going to reload and probably gonna kill the FV because not even a rock can save him. Weiser wanting to make himself look very attractive to the Forsh. And he's going to lose a lot of HP for that. The one Mo losing a lot of HP as well. And the Forsh does not even get a shot in. Loka has lost 3 guns now. The one Mo in trouble. Baron moving in. There he goes. It is 4 versus 4, but HP wise Loka has the advantage. And they will have to play it carefully. Spacey now in a lot of trouble. Spacey being absolutely lost. 268 now being focused. That was a very important shot not to miss. And there he goes. But it is 2 versus 3. Wise in a very juicy bat chat. Versus an IS-4 and an STB. With a very low HP FV at the back with only 1 shot left. And he does get that, but he's not going to survive this. And this is definitely Loka's game. It looked to be very close, but I think the guys in the desert losing so much HP, crossing over to the city, especially Zerd, that is what cost them the game. And now the score is steadily going up for both teams. Very well played by Loka. Pulled back together in time. Sort of pincered RTK up to a level. And it is now 2 versus 2. So with 1 minute and 33 seconds left to go, teams are being changed, tanks are being changed. And we are moving on to Black Goldville. Black Goldville looks like this. Again, a 3 bases map. You have base A considered a map base, C the heavy base, base B pretty open. If you can get base B, it can work out very well for you, but it's a big risk to try and take it. Overall, I prefer the positioning around base A, and that is what we see a lot of action on as well. But you can also do just the opposite that. Like I said, team game can go everywhere they want. So I'll take away the map so that it's not on your screen, and we have RTK completely ready up with a 215B, 3 140s, a T22 medium, and 2 Forshes. So that is a very, very mobile lineup. And they're going to go up against a similar mobile lineup in the form of 1 140, 2 215Bs, a Batchet, a 113, a Forsh, and an IS-4. So that's a little bit more armor, but still a pretty mobile lineup, especially with the new consumables that the FE has. So 30 seconds left to go until we go into the 5th match of this lineup. It has definitely been interesting. I love matchups like this where it can go every which way. Because it's mainly been the team that makes the first mistake is the one that's been losing. And I love that Loka has become so strong. Because if you had told me that Loka will get this far back in spring tournaments, I like Loka, but they didn't really have that chance then. Now though, this Loka is so strong. So that's actually great to see. So here we are. We are waiting for the battle to begin on Black Goldfield. The first matchup, the 5th game of this matchup in total of this best of 7. After this, regardless of who wins, the pressure will be on. Because whoever takes this home just has to win 1 more and the other team would have to win 2 games more. All of RTK focusing on the A side. Loka pretty much doing the same thing, only the bad chat is going to the other way. Wanting to get some spots in, I believe. We have the 140s that are going into base A quite aggressively. The 140 and the T22 that is. And I'm not sure if they're going to get away with it, because there's a lot of tanks with fast speed boost and everything that were able to get it. But they do get the base. And they do manage to pull away relatively safely, taking a little bit of damage, but not all that much. Weiser pulling back. Still spotted those, he might be in trouble getting shot in the ass, but he's not. And we have Zerd holding together with No Party Without Me. We have the 2 tanks in the caves, or holding at the caves, I should say. And the Batchat is at the rear. Potentially going to make trouble. Not really many lines of fire. Karolak losing a little bit of HP, but not much. Crossfire happening. Ariane. Ooh. Wunderkind and Weiser both losing HP. And Weiser losing a lot more HP and too quickly at that. They are moving in, they are taking out Ariane Grande, but it could cost them a Weiser in turn. And that is not something that you would want. There he goes, Weiser. They don't even take Ariane Grande out just yet. And we are entering the brawl stage. No Party Without Me now being focused. Baron is gone. But overall it can go every which way. Ariane Grande is still alive. RTK has lost 2 guns now. Unigum there. Both teams have lost 2 guns. Zerd is actually gone. Ariane Grande is still alive. A 1-shot, but still alive. It is 5 versus 4. And it is not looking good for RTK. Especially since Ariane Grande still manages to live. Gassio in a juicy 140. Wunderkind not making that hit count. Lots of low HP targets on RTK's side. There he goes. It is 3 versus 5. This is RTK's, not RTK's game. This is Loka's game. And that will definitely put the pressure on RTK if they want to win this point. The only one that is left is the one Mo in his Foch. And he's not going to survive this for long. He is being sandwiched from all sides. And he does not get another shot in. And the game is for Loka. Like I said, Loka has become so strong. And this is like RTK pushed in, but it didn't work. And Loka was just pulling back together so fast. Like I said, the pressure is on now. Because RTK will have to win the next 2 games in order to get the point, and Loka just has to win 1 more. So we are going to the second battle on Black Goldfield after about 1.5 minutes. We see lineups changing both sides. And RTK is now rated up in an STB, a T22 medium, 2 140s, a 215B and 2 Foches. And they're going to go up against a 140, 2 215Bs, a Batchat, a 113, a Foch and an IS4. So we'll be curious to see what they do now, because you can't really do the same thing at this stage. And it is so important to get these points for both teams, because it can make all the difference later on. both teams already. I wonder what their voice channels are like right now, because it has to be intense for them. Just all of it. Because these kind of games, they are what draws the blood right from under your nails. They are what makes your heart race. They are what makes you sweat. And that is mainly why I love tournament games like this, because it's like gameplay at its finest. I love that. I love when teams are so matched. I love when you get like epic gameplay on both sides. I dislike the brawling a little bit, but I understand that it is needed, and especially to round things up. So far we've not really had any really patient game this matchup from both sides. And here we go. Into the 6th game of this matchup, of this best of 7. So let's see what happens. This is, by the way, the graphite camouflage they can get with the Steam bundle. That I think that was what Stasty, or however you pronounce that, sorry, probably raped it. The one that you were talking about in the Steam bundle. So let's see what happens this time round. We have Loka focusing a bit more on the C side with the 215Bs heading over there. We have RTK going all towards the A side again, with a little bit to the middle insert in the STB. And we have No Party Without Me heading towards the base. Yudigi has been spotted in a similar position that Zerd was. Base A is now being kept. There's no one to contend that. And once they cap base C now, they will know where Loka is. We have the Mets rotating onwards. Wanted to get a good look at who is behind there, because they know that there's going to be campers there. But they have to be careful. Wiser has been spotted. If he gets shot by that... Oh, that is a very unhealthy Wiser now. He is not going to survive this. He can't really move out from under the away from cover, and he's going to be murdered for this. Because he's there. You go. And Playmaker now also stuck behind a rock. He can't really do anything either. But he's in a bit more secure position than Wiser was. But RTK has already lost the gun, and they didn't really lose any HP for taking him out. Playmaker being focused on, definitely not Rico being massacred by the Foshes. And there he goes. And Loka is heading for Playmaker. Ariana Grande losing some HP for it. But overall they are letting Playmaker be the sacrificial lamb. 215B is moving in. Shooting Karolak. Batchat is being ignored right now. Baron has lost a ton of HP. There's so much stuff happening. I want to show you all, but I really can't be everywhere at once. Unicum now gone. Batch is going to take out Stopey, but not before. RTK has lost 3 guns though. And that is a very... Ooh, Baron just lost a ton of HP as well. The Foshes holding quite nicely together. It is 4 versus 4, but Loka has some very low HP shots. And the Forces now just have to hold. Zerd moving in to take out Baron. Baron not having a chance against that, even if... Oof, they do lose a Fosh. Now Zerd going after Unicum. And he just needs one more reload. Fosh going after No Party Without Me. No Party Without Me is like, nope, let's not be here. And now it's just Ariana Grande versus No Party Without Me. And he's moving straight on in, not even careful of the Fosh. That is going to get some... Ooh, not even. Who does not get another hit in. But he gets a hit into Zerd instead. And now it's just the Fosh. And we have a Fosh versus Fosh situation. And now, even if the Fosh reloads, this is RTK's game. And we get the tiebreaker. I keep saying, I love a tiebreaker. I love that kind of thing. No Party Without Me is probably not going to survive this. Ooh, that missed though. He could have killed No Party Without Me there, if not for that miss. But this is RTK's game and we get a tiebreaker. Pressure is definitely on. And it was relatively close. I think RTK rotated better this time, and even though they lost Wises so early on and Playmaker was basically in a position, the fact that they focused on Playmaker that much allowed RTK to move it around and just take it back. So we are going to Winter Malinovka. Winter Malinovka, not one of my favorite maps. It looks something like this. Again, 3 bases. You have base A, which is considered map base. Base C, the heavy base. Base B in the middle, which is anyone's game. All bases have some protection, but it is not an easy map to read and to drive. Mainly because, again, you can go everywhere in these maps, and with the pressure on like this, it does not make it for easy gameplay because you don't really want to take any risks. So I'll take away the maps that is not in your screen. We have RTK completely read up with 2 mice, a T22 medium, a 215B, 2 Foshes and a 140. So that is a pretty super heavy lineup. And I think that they will be focusing on the city side because it will take the mice forever to get anywhere else. And they will focus, they will meet a Fosh, 3 215Bs, a 140, a 113 and an IS4. So that is a little bit more mobile, potentially. But it will be very great to see what they do with this matchup because, oh my god, tiebreaker. I like that. As a streamer, it's fun to have tiebreakers because the pressure is on. Just for me, for them. I mean, I don't need to perform, but I just need... Oh, I do need to perform, but you know what I mean. I don't need to play, but I'm involved in this and I want to know what happens. And these are the games that you do it for. Because it makes... It's so interesting just to have this, just to see what's going on. And let's have a look, see where they go. Zert with the gorgeous camo. Let's see. Here we go. Mice focusing on the base B side. We have the T22 and the 140 heading towards base A. Together with the Foshes. That could potentially be tricky, leaving 2 mice out alone in the middle. With where Loka is going, they will know where to expect the mice, and that could be a definite weakness to RTK's strats. Base A now being taken by both tanks, so they have a quick cap. The mice in holding positions, ready for anything. Base B not being gone for, but base C is now being capped. We have the Foshes spotting Karolak, actually by the FV. But one Mo does not have a shot. Neither does Wonderkind. And Loka is rotating back. And they know where Playmaker is. Playmaker in a difficult position, he can't really get out of there. The mice still holding. And Loka is rotating back as a team, and they might be gonna push heavily on the A side. Like I said, it is a tiebreaker. People are being spotted now. The mice are pushing in. Playmaker changing positions, but he was missed there. He also missed his own shot. No HP having been lost yet. Ooh, the Force is taking heavy damage there. They want to take out Karolak, the mice arriving. The one Mo holding. The mice going in for it. HP being lost all around. Gassio and the mouse taking massive hits. And they need to take out these tanks. RTK losing way too much HP. Trying to take out one tank. This has basically been their weakness today. Not rushing effectively. Karolak's still alive. He's now turned into a one-shot. But look at the HP that it cost RTK They lost a tank as well. They lost 2 tanks. And it could potentially be Loka's game because of that. We have the Force arriving, taking out the 1 Mo. He's now on a clip reload. There goes Wunderkind as well. It is 6 versus 3. And they can't really do much of anything. Playmaker in a lot of trouble. There goes Playmaker. But it was very well played. And this was a very ineffective push by R2K. Those Forces pushing in like that cost them the game. Pushing him through there, especially. Very well played by Loka. Very lovely games. Loka takes home the point. This is, like I said, a very, very strong Loka. So let's see what the score is for tonight. Karna and EG and Loka all have 2 points. And that's 6. Then we have R2K that has 1 point. And let's see what is up. What is up with Raid? Raid has 1 point as well. So that is the 8 points for today. Karna and EG both had 2 points. R2K, no, actually Loka as well. And R2K and Raid both having a 1 point. So that is it for the games for today. I will be back later on tonight with NA. That stream will actually be a great stream, so if you are on the NA server, watch through the portal and you will get stuff for watching. So thank you all for watching. Thank you the teams that we saw today for the very lovely gameplay. And I'll be back tomorrow with the great stream on EU and for Asia. And like I said, later tonight for the NA. So have a great evening and I'll be back later on. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the gameplay and bye bye.